Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another great video for you. So if you're going through a refinance right now, or maybe a potential refinance down the road, you definitely want to watch this whole video because I'm gonna go through some very important details that I missed during the refinance and that therefore pushed off the refinance and actually made us go to another appraiser too, because the value we got was a little bit lower than expected for the first one. Yeah, so also if you guys are interested in meeting with me, I've dropped that link in the bio and I'll drop it in the description as well. But you can feel free to just book a time that's convenient for you, and we can talk about either your refinance, a purchase, anything that's going on in your real estate life. And if you just want to get my opinion, or if you just want someone to listen to you, let me know, or also my advice. So yeah, that link is in the description. Make sure to check that out and let's get right into it. So this is the double refinancing, duplex, 2-unit, whatever you want to call it. We purchased this property in December of 25 and we purchased it for $215,000. So might run out of room here. 215. And this was in December 25. So I do have a bunch of videos on breaking this transaction down. The renovations, there's like a 4-part video series that I did for the renovations, and go ahead and check that out. You can see step by step how we were able to go from $700 to $1,950 per month in rent. That was huge for refinancing and also for our cash flow. But yeah, so we bought this for $215,000. This was all cash as well. So if you're asking me, well, Justin, I don't have cash for $215,000 plus renovations, that's okay. Go to a hard money lender. If you want to put a cash offer in, go to a hard money lender, and you can pay that higher interest rate because, look at this is what, December 25 to June, so roughly 6 months, and you're only going to be paying that, 15%, 12 to 15% interest rate for half a year. And then you can refinance out of it. You have a cash flowing property, and you can go do this all over again with either your money or with the hard money lender's money again. So purchased it for $215,000. Before we purchased the property though, we went through and derived all the project costs for this property. And we went through and looked at the roof and soffits, plumbing, electrical, washer and dryer, flooring, and the list continues. So went through all of these, made a list, I think it's in the other video, but maybe 15 different line items long, and we attached a number to each of these. So we went through and said, okay, this is going to cost $25,000, this might cost $10,000, this electrical $2,000. And then we said, okay, this is going to be our total project costs, which came out to $94,270. And then we said, okay, if we spend $94,270 on renovations plus the purchase price, can we refinance so we get all of that back after we refinance? We said yes, and that's why we went through the purchase at $215,000. So this is just a little bit of front work that you have to do to make sure that your investment is going to turn out the way you want it to, with being able to recycle the capital that you put into it. But at first, you'll see once I put the refinance numbers out there, the property was actually going to retain like $70,000. So it wasn't looking too good. But yeah, so these are extremely important. Want to nail these down at first, because this is going to drive this is driving most of your costs and how much you're going to make at the refinance. So just a few points I want to drive home would be the hard money lender. If you don't have cash and you want to close on a deal in cash, maybe a quick purchase, it's been on the market, offer a little bit lower than, if it's been on the market for a while, offer a bit lower than what they're asking and go from there. Another one is renovations tend to take longer than expected. So just have that in your mind as well. And then also making sure, the project costs, like I said, so project. And then also making sure you have the capital It may sound obvious, but if you don't have the 94,000 pretty close to liquid by the time you start renovating, it's going to be slower. You're going to be more worried about how to fund the renovations, and the whole deal here is trying to get this done as quick as possible. You don't want to have your quality of the renovations, become lower or not to your standard. You want to set the bar pretty high, but you also don't want to be doing this for 10, 15 months. This is a 2-unit property. It's just my brother and I working on it. So if it's just yourself, maybe you start contracting out a few more things and you can still get it done within the 6-month time frame. So yeah, make sure those two are aligned with how much you think you're going to cost, the renovations are going to cost, and then what you have liquid. So we actually ended up putting in roughly $86,622 in renovation costs. And before I go to the renovation costs, let's just see what the total was with closing costs. So just to give you an idea, so on this property, we spent $6,158 on closing, and then that came to a total of $221,158, and our actual costs were $86,622.07. So that was the actual cost for the renovations, which is lower than what we budgeted, which is amazing. That doesn't happen too often. One thing that we can probably attribute this to is that I have a contingency in here too. So this is something you want to put in. And I would do at least 10%. So if this comes to 90,000 and you have a 10% contingency, then your total is going to be 99,000. Very important. You're always going to run into extra costs somehow. Something's going to cost more. Actually, for us, the roofs cost more, flooring cost more, and the washer and dryer cost more than expected. But there are also some line items. I think plumbing and electrical. We did do a lot of plumbing work, but it was still under our budget, which was good. All right, so back to the numbers. So let's just get our total here. So total cost to us was $307,780. And we need to refinance for close to that, if not more. The first appraiser came back. I guess this is another point to drive home is don't rush the refinance. Don't rush into the refinance. So do not rush into the refi, because this is the mistake that I made, is I brought the appraiser through before we had that second unit renovated. And it was in the very beginning stages of our renovation, so it looked pretty bad. And if you want to see, go back into the videos and take a look at what the appraiser saw when he first stepped in. And you can see that, he saw that it wasn't completed, it was inhabitable, and he gave us a very low value. However, not only that, but when I was reading through the appraisal he gave to us, it was taking all the wrong comps in the area. So I went back and forth with him and our lender, which is a credit union here in the Buffalo area. And I was saying, you chose comps without driveways, you chose comps without the amenities we put into the units, the washer and dryers, the granite countertops, the new appliances, the tile showers, and he did not budge at all. We went back and forth for a little over 3 weeks, and unfortunately, he was sticking to his appraised value, which was $290,000. So which was $290,000. So that is not great, because remember, we're doing a loan, an LTV of 80%, which is loan to value. So that means we're only going to take out roughly $232,000, and that leaves us with a lot of money left over in the property, roughly $75,000. So that was really bad. And if we were to go with that, it would not be ideal for this next transaction, because remember, we're taking the money from here and we're putting it into the 20 unit so we can do the same thing. And we need as much money as we can from this property in order to close on the 20 unit. So went back and forth with him. He didn't budge at all. Then I guess this is another important note here is go to a bank that you have a relationship with. Because at this point, so going back and forth 3 weeks with the bank and the appraiser, the loan officer at the bank, or the credit union, I should say, he said, well, let's get a second appraiser, or a second, value of for the appraisal. And I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do it. And he also said, I'll cover the second appraisal too, which is not that much, $500. So, but that just shows you, if you have a good relationship, they'll be accommodating to your circumstances and help you out as well. So we got the second appraisal. That came in much better, and that came in at $380,000. So almost $100,000 difference, which is crazy. So we do the LTV again of 80%, and that's going to give us roughly $304,000 that we're going to take the loan out on, and the rest would just be equity left into place. So as you can see, that went up by $72,000, which was great, because now we have, so the refinance is going to be 304. That leaves us with $3,780 left in this double, which is a lot better than that $75,000. So we can live with that. But it just shows you that, being persistent, even though, well, first of all, having your calculations correct, being persistent in exposing a very low value in the appraisal, and keeping after the appraiser, keeping after the lender, the credit union, and it will hopefully, if you're confident in everything else, work out for the better and more in alignment with what your numbers are too. So you have to be persistent, and you have to be on top of your game with regards to what's going on from the beginning of the transaction all the way to the end. And this is what we're ending up with. So we'll put $304,000 back into our pockets, but actually we're still leaving about $4,000 in the property, not including our equity. Yeah, and then also, even with this new loan amount too, we will still be cash flowing $400 to $500 per month, which is a pretty decent return, because if you take, say a double, $500 a month to make it easy, $1,000, $12,000 a year. So you're $12,000 over the $387. So it's a pretty good property still. Or you can take it over, the $12,000 over the remaining equity you have. And this would be like your cash on cash return calculation, or your ROI. But if you did the $12,000 over $3,780. So it's still a great returning property, and we still do have to do some more work to it as well. The painting, so we actually still jumped the gun on the second appraisal. The painting for the exterior has not been completed yet. And he actually mentioned in the appraisal that once that's completed, this property will be worth, I gotta get a new marker here. This property will be worth roughly $399,000. So there's still remaining equity after we paint the property. We put another $10,000 in for painting, and it'll go up roughly $20,000. So that's great to know. We're not going to be accessing that, but that'll just be equity left over in the property. So I'd like to point out something that I've seen on other YouTube channels, and I guess the specific one is Tony Stefan. He does the exact same thing here, where he pulls out and refinances, his property, pulls out the equity, and he pays himself that. But as you can see, we're not paying ourselves anything. This is renovation costs and the purchase price, closing costs, all of that. Our labor right now is quote unquote free, if you look at it from the money that you're pulling out perspective. If you look at it from the whole entire picture with the equity remaining, that's going to be paying for our labor once we sell it, or whatever it might be. The cash flow, is going to be paying for our labor, if you want to talk about that. But I don't know how people, unless we bought this deal wrong, and maybe if he's watching this, I'd like to know why or how they're able to live off the $304,000. Because right now, this is going back to paying materials, paying the purchase price, paying off for you guys, if you were to buy this, your hard money lender. So, and then living off the cash flow. So yeah, I'd like to know, Tony, if you're watching this, comment down below. Maybe if I'm missing something also, if you don't think that was a good purchase at 215, comment that down below. But yeah, so this is the breakdown of the refinancing. Also, some points that I wanted to drive home with regards to what I experienced and learned. So if you guys got value out of this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be creating a lot more of this content. Also, we've got the 20 unit that's hopefully coming up. I want to kind of give you an update there, but we are in little murky waters with that right now. So once we get into clear water, I will definitely make a video on that. Lastly too, make sure if you guys have any questions on the refinance, questions on a purchase, and anything that you're doing, maybe you're just getting started, you want some direction on how to get started, book a call with me. It's right into my bio, and I'll drop it in the description, and we can hop on a call and make sure you're set up for success. So thank you guys for watching. We'll talk soon, and take care.